Hey everyone, welcome to your financial statement analysis assignment. While I typically don't necessarily walk you through assignments, I do want to walk you through this one as there are a couple of external resources you're going to be looking at. I know that the unit was fairly quick and that we looked at an intro to financial analysis and then did some liquidity and profitability ratios. We'd also done some calculations previously in the course, so I didn't want to spend 2 weeks just going through some stuff that was relatively familiar to us. And for this assignment, we're not building journals and financial statements. We're actually going to be analyzing two companies that work in the same industry. So for this assignment, you're going to be looking at two companies, and for this tutorial, let's assume it's General Motors and Ford, which are two companies in the automotive industry who compete with each other. And I want to compare how each company does financially and then make a recommendation thereafter. So you're going to be doing a business report for me. I would like you to use the formatting within this assignment. So I want you to use the numbering system in sections. This is not an essay, so part one will be introduction, and then you're going to give me a couple of paragraphs, one on each of the companies. So General Motors is located in Detroit. They have X amount of employees. Their annual revenue is this much. Their major product lines are GMC trucks and whatever else. Do the same for Ford and Bob's your uncle. We're good on that section. For the second part, you're going to do comparative balance sheets and income statements. I've given you an example of a comparative income statement here, and also I've shown you the major accounts I want you to use. I don't want you to use every single account because it will be overwhelming once you look at the financials of each company. There's a dozen, 15, 20 accounts in each of the balance sheet and income statement, and it's just way too repetitive for you to do. So there's roughly half a dozen balance sheet accounts and half a dozen income statement accounts I'd like you to look at. Please note at the bottom of this assignment as well, I've added a bit of a tutorial or a heads up on some of the account names that Yahoo Finance uses that might be slightly different than what we used in class, and just make sure you reference that last page of this assignment as you're looking for your data. For the comparative statements, you'll see what I've done is I want you to take the previous 2 years, and I'm going to go to Yahoo Finance right now. If you click on the link in the assignment, it'll take you here. I have had some issues trying to shoot the tutorial and things freezing, so I've preloaded Yahoo Finance, and you'll see here in the search engine, I just put General Motors. And then I look down here and I'll see all these different companies. Typically it's the first one. And I want to make sure I keep going back to that one there. So I'm going to click on GM. And hopefully it will take me there. All right. So we are in General Motors. And this is where we're going to get most of our information. So I can see I'm freezing a bit as well, so I'm going to get out of this as quickly as possible. But here is GM, and here is where we are going to be getting our information. If I go down here to financials, you will see here that there's the income statement. You want to use not TTM. This means for the previous 12 months, not for the actual financial year. So I want to do a complete year. So GM does their year end on December 31st. So I want to use this as my first year, and this is my second year when I'm doing my comparative. And on the balance sheet, I will do the same. Oh, so for my balance sheet, it's actually showing me 2024 and 2023. So this will be my base year. So when I go back here, you'll see I've got a base year, and that's going to be whatever was said in GM's case in 2023. For some of you, it might be 2022. It really depends when a company has their year end. So you want to choose this year here as your base year, and you're basing 2024 on that in this example, or whatever year you're using when you're doing this assignment. So you want to show me the actual increase, which is 1.2 million minus a million, and then you want to show me the percentage as well. And most importantly, you want to base some conclusions. So I've done General Motors, balance sheet, and income statement. I've done the same for Ford. And based on what I see, this is the company that seems to be performing a little bit better, or this company does well on the balance sheet, however the income statement isn't as impressive as the other one, or whatever it is you find. Some level of analysis is obviously what we're trying to do here. You'll then do three calculations for liquidity, working capital, current ratio, and the acid test ratio. And you will find those in our notes on how to do those. So do it for each company and let me know how they're doing. And then finally, some profitability ratios and calculations. Profit margin, gross profit margin, return on assets, and earning per share. Once again, drawing conclusions. All of the data can be found on that Yahoo Finance page that made this tutorial freeze so wonderfully, but you'll be able to find everything there and just click around and you'll be able to find it. And then at the end of your project, you're going to recommend one company to investors based on what you have found. Now, here's what I want. I want you to use a title page, and I'm going to put an example of a title page on D2L for you to access. You're going to use the headings, so there's going to be 4 sections from introduction down to conclusion, outlining each company. Show me your calculations and numbers where possible. Don't just put in earnings per share as $12. I want to see how you figured that out. So charts showing me what you're doing, tables, whatever best tool you can use to organize your data. And then using a works cited, which may primarily be Yahoo Finance, but you'll likely be accessing the company website as well for a little bit of background. So I would likely cite General Motors and Ford in my assignment as well. The rubric is attached as per usual. And then this is the Yahoo Finance terms that I want you to look at. So cost of goods sold is what we use during the merchandising unit in our course. They call it cost of revenue. So I'm going to take the risky step of clicking on Yahoo again, and I'm hoping that things will go well. So when I go to income statement, and I'm freezing, and is it loading? Here we go. All right, so you can see here it says cost of revenue, not cost of goods sold. It's the same thing. So just use that that row when you're doing your calculations. And then I've done some other kind of footnotes for you here. We called it this on the left. Yahoo calls it this. Same but different. Okay, so just use these terms to substitute for those. So that's it. That is your report, and that is your final regular assignment for the year. So get that knocked off, and then once that's done, we're going to introduce your portfolio assignment. All right, so that's it. Sorry about some of the freezing in this, but that is technology in this day and age. Hope everyone's doing well. Hope the craziness of semester end is going well for you, and reach out anytime if you need my help. See you guys.